One day in the forest, there was a cute little porcupine. The little porcupine's name is Molly. She was in the forest with her mother looking for some apples. Apple was Molly's and her mother's favorite food. While they were looking for apples, something bad suddenly happened to them. Molly's mother and Molly accidentally stepped on the net and fell into a deep hole. The net was deliberately set by humans to catch animals in the forest. Molly felt terrible, frightened inside a dark hole. But Molly's mother tried to calm her child and find a way to get out of this hole. Before long, the human came along and immediately caught Molly and his mother from inside the hole. Molly's mother tried to break free herself and her child with thorns on her body. Molly's mother's effort at releasing Molly finally succeeded, but when she tried to release herself, the human quickly put her into the box and brought her out of the forest. When Molly saw her mother being carried away by humans, Molly felt so sad. She could only cry and she said, "Mom, why did you leave me alone in the forest?" After crying for a long time in the forest, Molly finally decided to go home. After spending a week at home, Molly forced herself out of the house to looking for food because she was starving. After Molly succeeded in finding apple in the forest, she met her friends by accident. She tried to approach them, but they avoided her because they were afraid of the thorns in her body. Even one of them said, "Go away, you're not like us. We all have soft hair and you only have sharp thorns." After that, Molly saw them hugging each other. From this point on, Molly tried to avoid her friends when she met her friends again. The next day, Molly was just daydreaming by the river and saying, "If all my thorns were gone, I'd be free to play with my friends." Molly felt that her life was unfair because her friends didn't want to be friends with her. Suddenly, Coco appears and he asks, "What are you thinking, Molly?" Then Molly answered, "Nothing, Coco." And then Coco answered again, "If you have a problem, I'm ready to listen." Coco then sat down next to Molly and then said, "You don't have to worry, Molly. I'll be your friend, and believe me." It makes Molly happy because finally she has a friend. Finally, Molly began to talk to Coco about her problem. Coco seemed to be listening intently to her story. After telling Coco, Molly barely noticed Coco's cell. She asked him, "Your cell looks so heavy. Don't you feel tormented?" Coco replied, "Oh, not at all. It's actually a very useful cell. The cell can protect me if there's danger. I just need to pull my leg and my head inside. Besides, I don't need to bother to find a place to live. My house is as mobile because it can be moved around." Molly finally understood Coco's explanation. One day, Molly's friend named Sam was going to have a birthday and many of his friends were invited. But Molly was not invited. As Molly's friend, Coco tried to persuade Sam to invite Molly to his party, until finally Sam agreed and invited Molly to his party. At first, she didn't want to go to Sam's party because she was afraid the others would stay away from her, but Coco tried to convince her that she didn't need to worry. Coco said, "You're not alone. I'll keep you company. There was also plenty of food, especially apples." Hearing that, Molly got excited about going to Sam's party because she loved apples so much, and they finally went to the party together. After arriving at the party, Molly was amazed that Sam's party was so rushing. The scan of various kinds of flowers was in every corner of the room. There's two long tables set there. On top of the table, a wide variety of food and a large supply of apples were available. Molly and Coco then approached Sam, who would blow out the candle and then congratulate him. After blowing out the candle, all the guests who came applauded each other and sang happy birthday to you. At the dance moment, all of Molly's friends tried to avoid Molly except Coco. They were afraid to be punctured by her thorns. Finally, Coco, who accompanied her, suddenly the party stops with Gogo screaming. He came running scared. "Look out! The big bad wolf is coming! Run! Run!" Everyone at the party became frightened. They all ran around and Coco drops his head and feet into his cell, while Molly immediately rolled her body up into a ball. And the big bad wolf was chasing Molly's friend, and suddenly, "Brook!" cried the big bad wolf. His foot accidentally stepped on Molly's body and got pierced by her sharp thorn. Suffering from pain, the big bad wolf rushed out from the party, and eventually Molly and all her friends survived and no one got hurt. All of Molly's friends gave her a present. The present was actually filled with marshmallows. The marshmallow is used to cover the thorn sharp tip. Then many of Molly's friends apologized to her. Now she no longer felt alone. Her friends were no longer afraid of her sharp thorns. Even they feel safe if Molly is around them, and finally they hugged each other.